Brian.
And I'm Dave.
And this is Preview with the Prior,
the show where we speculate about the upcoming episode of Better Call Saul.
Often motherfucking incorrectly. I just wanted to cuss unnecessarily there for no reason.
Well, apparently, even our wrap-up show, we are often incorrect as well, because holy cow, we got called out on some missed references.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, so I'm going to go over why some of that is... Okay, we'll just go over that in a bit. So
we're going to make excuses. I have some excuses in mind, trust me.
Yeah. All right. So let's do listener correspondence.
Listener correspondence.
All right. Here we go. From Facebook, Ray Tillinghast says, "Hey guys, the cab driver is Nacho."
Nope.
That's what he thinks. He says,
I looked at the credits, and that is not Michael Mandow credited as the cab driver.
Yeah, but this would be like an older Nacho. I'm just saying.
I didn't see it in the eyes. Honestly, I didn't. I think that I would have saw his eyes and been like, "Oh, those look like an old,"
Michael Mandow does have some dreamy eyes. He's got those long eyelashes. He's a dreamboat.
Yeah, he's a handsome dude. It's that Latin flair.
Exactly. So Ray gives off a whole list of reasons why he thinks this should be. He says he's from Albuquerque. Mm-hmm. He has an axe to grind with Saul Goodman. He's very capable. And he is also somebody with experience in causing heart attacks in people. That's what he says.
I like it.
Yeah. But you kind of shit on Ray really quickly there. So that
Wait. No, that actually makes a lot of sense. If maybe the panic attack was induced by something, maybe he spiked his drink or lunch or something. Turned up the AC, switched out his pills.
He says he could well have been messing with Saul's meds or sneaking some other drugs into his lunch. This would mean that he knew when Saul would be having an attack and possibly be hanging around as an Uber driver or taxi, whatever, to see where Saul lives. He says, I couldn't make out much by reflection in the rear view, but that could have been an older, pissed off, experienced poisoner like Nacho.
I like that a lot. That's an interesting theory. And maybe Saul or Gene was clever enough to not go home because he told me to take him back to work, and he didn't even get that far before he jumped out. But yeah, he never would have found out where Gene lived in that particular plan.
Yeah. Okay. Matthew Lavenley from Facebook says, "Hey guys, your show is amazing. Thank you, Matthew, for being the only person that thinks that. That's pretty cool of you." That's nice of you to lie to yourself like that. That's great. He does say it's one of my favorite podcasts out there, which is cool because it happens to be one of my favorite podcasts too. Mainly it's funny, like as we record it, we kind of laugh, and then I'll listen to it like on my way to work or something just to see how it came off, and I'll always chuckle. I'm like, "Oh, we're so stupid." Yeah,
I do that. I like proofread basically online. I always listen to it online, and I enjoy ourselves.
Gotcha. So he sends out a bunch of bullet points here. He says, this is Matthew from Facebook. Kim broke down because she was trying to deny the fact that Chuck killed himself and it was all Jimmy's fault. She's lost it because she realized that Jimmy is either mentally disturbed, not being at all moved by the reveal, or she's realizing she's with a total asshole who doesn't care he pushed Chuck to this. Kind of in line with what I've been saying, right?
Yeah, it's so layered. I mean, I'm sure there's just I'm sure there's myriad reasons why she broke down, and I think we've probably all touched on a little bit of that.
By the way, anybody listening, if you're hearing like the weird dings, I'm actually technically working because I work from home, and I'm also the boss. But this is what I'm choosing to do during my workday.
I am also working from home today, but I don't have dings in the background because I work on the same program that we record on.
I have two computers and my cell phone going right now. So, all right, here we go. He says, 2, I'm not sure that we'll ever see Walt or Jesse, but with the introduction of Todd's eventual boss, we will see more of that crew, or will we see more of that crew and their escapades as robbers?
Probably. There was some of the characters have like 7 or 6 credited scenes already or episodes already.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd imagine it's going to get more into that.
Says, will we ever see Jimmy in and out? Oh yeah. Actually, thanks to Inviso, our invisible producer who looked it up online, it is actually the gentleman who will do the jail time for you. Jimmy
Oh yes, yes, that's.
And you actually got that before Inviso, the producer. So good job, Dave. I'm not gonna lie, I completely forgot about that guy. But man, that'd be cool bringing him into. See, that's the thing is like all these characters that had these weird roles in Breaking Bad, they got to happen eventually. So why not in this series?
Yeah, totally.
I would like to almost see a spin-off series of just Jimmy in and out.
Every episode could be a different time that he goes into jail.
Yeah, wouldn't that be awesome?
That'd be awesome.
He says, number 4, was there any romance between Gus and Gail?
Okay, so part of what we missed about Gail was the fact that it's like the Jesse Pinkman thing where it's going to be really hard to make somebody look like they're a teenager when they're 35, 40 years old now. Which is why I think that we thought Gail was a professor and not a student at a college and not a high school.
Right.
So that would kind of make Gus a pedophile.
What? How many?
If they're hanging out before he graduated high school.
I'm totally lost. I'm totally lost with your train of thought.
If Gus put Gabe through college because they were lovers, is that what he said? Romantic between Gus and Gail?
Yeah. Oh, I see where you're going, right? So if Gus gave him the scholarship and paid for his school, then that would mean that they're romantically involved before then. So therefore, Gail would have been underage. Right?
Yes.
Gotcha. So, I mean, maybe in their adult lives, maybe perhaps or concurrently with what's going on now and into Breaking Bad. Sure, why not? Right? Wouldn't be the weirdest thing that's ever happened on this show.
No, I guess not. I mean, it's not.
I mean, it's not even really that weird. So maybe, possibly. I mean, we've never seen anything to the contrary. So yeah, why not? Gail and Gus, they're a thing. Let's go with that. That sounds great. Right, but I thought people kind of speculated that when Gus's partner got killed. I think people maybe speculated that there might have been like a romance between those two as well, and that's why Gus kind of took it so personally.
Yeah,
so perhaps.
Maybe.
Who knows?
He is an eccentric Latin lover.
Mm-hmm. He also says, lastly, Nacho is going to get killed because the owner of the Mexican restaurant is going to get his air conditioner repaired and inform the twins that somebody sabotaged it. They'll put 2 and 2 together. He says, admittedly, that's a stretch. Totally. I just want that to happen.
It is a stretch. I like the first half of the argument or the theory hypothesis that, maybe Nacho gets killed by the murder twins. But I don't see anybody being like, oh, the air conditioner temperature got turned up, so let me go through this entire elaborate plan to figure out that Nacho, oh, he must have turned the AC up, so Hector had a freak out, so that way the pills that he took didn't work because Nacho replaced them with placebos.
Maybe it'd just be more like if that scenario did happen, it would just be more like a like, hey, that's kind of odd, and it'll just be one of those things like they connect the dots later on. They
are pretty paranoid, and gangsters tend to be pretty paranoid about that stuff. So it's plausible.
Yeah. Okay.
Half a point.
Retro at Twitter has a couple things. He says, hey guys, the secret has already been revealed. Gus gave Gail a scholarship to UNM. Yep.
We just discussed that. A swing and a miss on our part.
Yeah, he says Gus was at UNM, not a high school, and Gail is still a student, not a professor.
And looking back, that is a really fancy, nice high school. But us going to the high school that we went to, which consisted of like 30 classrooms on 2 floors of one building, we don't really know what a nice high school looks like, so we kind of shot in the dark.
You know how you see colonial America, like in history books and in movies and documentaries, and they have like the school marm, and she would have several different grades going on at the same time. Like at the left would be kindergarten, but at the far right would be 5th grade.
Right.
Our high school was a lot like that, except for with an unpaved parking lot. Because I'm sure even in the 1800s, they somehow paved a parking lot, except for where we went to high school. They had unpaved parking lots. And it's yeah. So look, we didn't go to a fancy high school with money or like teachers who cared or opportunities for people to succeed and learn. Okay,
successful extracurricular programs.
Right. I'm pretty sure they wrote my high school diploma on a piece of purple construction paper with a felt tip marker.
And a gold star attached to the bottom. I was gonna say, like,
fun.
What other like fancy high schools? They may be located on a campus, which is a collection of buildings. We went to high school in the building.
Yeah, which was literally right across the street from my house, like,
right next to the middle school, which was also a building.
Yeah, like,
I guess that wasn't.
Maybe that one dude said it was right. Maybe we really are country bumpkins. Here's a fun fact. One, I walked out midway through the graduation, and much to the chagrin and annoyance of my parents. And two, to this day, I have never seen my high school diploma, nor do I know where it's at.
Nice.
Right, because you got the little booklet, and I guess you had to go back and pick up your diploma.
Yep.
So I guess that was their insurance policy for you not doing anything stupid at the ceremony. But since I left early, my parents said they got it because I actually brought this up like a year ago. But like to this day, I've never seen my high school diploma. I honestly wouldn't even know what the fuck it looks like, or I'm not even really. All I know is like in a black folder thingy. I have no idea what that looks like.
I've seen mine.
But
once.
then again, I also have 0 yearbooks. I've never bought a yearbook. I didn't care. I was just like, oh, cool. Well, I'm done with this place. I'll see you fools later in life. And that was it.
I had to stick around my graduation because I was the senior class president, which I ran for as a joke and won.
Like, I've never been to a high school reunion. I belong to 0 class of 1998 Facebook groups. The one time they were going to have a high school reunion, the nice girl, who I remember being nice anyway, asked me if I was coming, and I flat out told her, I was like, well, I wouldn't come to my high school reunion if it was held in my backyard and I had the day off work. Like, I just, whatever. I hope everybody's doing well, but like, I don't feel personally high school was that big of a deal to me.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
what I mean? Like, to me, it was just like one last thing I had to do before I could move. Like,
right.
That was all. Like, while everybody's nice and I hope everybody's doing well, I don't have this weird reverence that a lot of people have for high school.
That was one thing when I ran for president, which it could not happen today because our campaign slogan was "Vote Mail."
Oh yeah.
We actually put posters in the hallway that said "Vote Mail" because there was no mail the previous 3 years that ever got elected, and then they told me I had to do the reunions, and I said no. That's not going to happen because I remember our 10th was like meet at the town festival, so I went to a different bar. And I was supposed to like go on stage and turn the tassels in front of everybody, and I thought I was going to get to say something, and I didn't. And I was like, that was the one thing I would have done because I had this whole thing, this hilarious, like probably irreverent speech planned in my head. But no, all I had to do was flip my fucking tassel over, like lead the crowd in doing it.
Awesome. Now that you've learned a lot more about us than you really needed to know. Okay, moving on. Rutro also says, he also brings up the point that the uncut pizza was a reference to Walt throwing the pizza on the roof of his house in Breaking Bad. But that wasn't our point. How it all came up. See, here's what happens. In case you haven't noticed, Dave and I will just talk and somebody will bring up a topic and then we just kind of take it from there.
Yeah.
We're all aware Walt threw the pizza on the roof. We're all aware that the uncut pizza is a reference to Walt tossing the uncut pizza on the roof. What we were discussing was Dave wondered out loud if you could order a pizza uncut. Like, and I took that as like, in real life, can you do that? And yes, in real life, you can. It's a very common thing in Chicago, and that is the correct way to order a pizza as it's getting delivered. And while we're on the topic, Danny Goodman on Twitter How dare you correct my pronunciation of Lou Malnati's?
Well, okay, so Danny must be from the Chicagoland area because I listen to sports talk radio, but I definitely have discovered how much people from Chicago love to add syllables that aren't there. Or if your last name is pluralized, they'll take off the S. If it's singular, they'll add the S, and it drives me freaking crazy. Like the wide receiver Alshon Jeffrey was called Jeffries by like 50% of the callers. So yeah, Malnati's, no. There's no A between the L and the N.
Right.
Malnati's.
Yeah, but he says it's Lou Malnati.
Which is probably right.
Yeah, he's probably 100% correct. But you know what? I will act indignant till the day I die.
Yeah, this isn't...
Louis Mal is what real Chicagoans call him. Louis Mal. I just made that shit up. I don't even care. Okay, moving on.
Wait, I want to confess, I did not catch the Breaking Bad reference to the pizza on the roof. I remember the pizza on the roof. I thought it was hilarious. I never paid attention to the fact that it wasn't sliced, and somebody brought up the fact that there was kind of a debate on it being sliced or not. So it is an awesome joke that went over my head. I will admit that.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was just I thought you were just saying, like, do people really order pizza like that?
Well, because I missed the previous argument in Breaking Bad about sliced or unsliced. I was just, pizza on the roof. That's funny. Didn't notice it wasn't sliced.
Fair enough. Mall of America says murder twins aren't good detectives. They never question why tires on the right side of the car are blowing out, even though they were presumably not in the direct line of fire from the silver car.
But I don't think they set it up to look like they got spike stripped. I think, we were in agreement on that. Mall of America's right.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought, right. Okay.
That tire should not be blown out. That tire would not have caught in a bullet.
I got you.
Without a spike strip.
Well, then, gotcha. Okay. Good call. Good call, Mall of America. Okay, here we go. Ryan S. on Twitter. I strongly disagree with your suggestion that the letter was written shortly before the suicide. Chuck spoke his mind when they last spoke. He never expressed pride in his brother in Better Call Saul, and he doesn't bullshit. I believe it was written years before, likely before his illness.
You could be right. You could be right.
I mean, didn't I bring that up? I was like, I don't think he wrote that.
You did.
As like a, I think that was written way before as like a, I agree with Ryan S.
I'm on the side, mostly so we can have conflicting viewpoints, that it was written soon. When Chuck knew he was going to go, he wrote that letter. I've seen the theory out there bantied about that Kim wrote the letter. So then she would be freaking out because he's not responding the way that she wants him to respond to the letter.
Right. So maybe she was like sparing his feelings or something like that, and his whole response was like, whatever. Like, cool, bro. And thanks for paying off my credit card.
And she's like, holy cow, this didn't work, because women trap you like that all the time and then freak out when you don't respond the way they want you to respond.
That's why you double down on everything. That's what I do. All right, here we go. Tom Denning says, what the fuck was that? Fastest episode ever. I thought that too. I thought it like moved along pretty quickly.
It did. It felt quick. That's what she said.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. A lot of times when I watch the episodes, I'll check the time on it, and I'll be like, holy cow, so much has happened. How much longer can this possibly go on? Yeah. And then I'll be surprised. I'll be like, 10 more minutes? What the fuck?
Right.
But this episode, I felt like you blink and it was over. It just moved along really quickly, it felt like.
I agree.
Yep.
Well, this had the previous episode had that big artsy montage.
Mm-hmm. Cooter's Garage says, here's your positive feadback. You guys love the show, making you both geniuses and awesome. You know, I actually really do. I actually do. I actually think maybe it's because we're so invested with the podcast and everything like that, but I actually think I kind of like this show better than Breaking Bad.
I've been saying that for the past like 2 seasons.
Yeah. And I mean, I've watched Breaking Bad at least twice that I can remember, but it's still so far distant in my memory. Like, I'm really impressed by the people, because I'll pick up things. I'll be like, oh, that was obviously from Breaking Bad. But sometimes the folks that respond to us or email us, like, it really impresses me that what people remember from that series. It's just completely impressive. And once again, I am not going to go scour the Breaking Bad wiki to find everything that I might have missed, because I like the whole point of this podcast is that we enjoy it in the moment.
Right.
Right. So it's like, yeah, we get it out when the credits run, and we try to record shortly after we watch it, because the whole point is like, it's literally as if 10,000 of us were
Fresh
sitting
takes.
in a room. Huh?
Fresh takes.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, we're just buddies hanging out, eating beer and drinking pizza.
Well, yeah, but I mean, and if
just bullshitting, and of course,
if we did do the super detailed, super analytical podcast, then we're putting out the same podcast everyone else is, and we're just, we're complimentary. One of my favorite reviews is watch this along with the Insider podcast. Then you get all your meat and potatoes, and then we're the tiramisu that you choke on the powder afterwards.
Exactly. We're your buddies. We're your buddies on the couch. So we love it that you guys actually correct us or point out things that we might have missed, because that's part of the fun for us. Because Dave and I will be like, oh yeah, because Dave and I we talk like 5 times a week. We're like, oh yeah, duh, right? Like that's kind of the fun. So long story short, awesome for you guys to pick stuff up and share it with us. MH Duncan on Twitter says the doctor was momentarily impressed, but mostly afraid. If your replacement from John Hopkins invites you to work with them, you will. Same if Slash was sitting in to jam with your garage band.
Yeah, because if I'm in a room with some mobsters that look like they're about to kill me any second, and then Slash comes in, I'd probably be like, "Oh, it's your band, dude. I'm gonna go jam with some lower key people."
Yep. All right, let's round this out with a few YouTube listener correspondence. So last one, we have a new subscriber on YouTube, Jesse, which is awesome. We may have more, but it's cool that Jesse subscribed, and I got a notice for that, so I figured I'd throw it in there.
Nice.
Eckemer commented, as you know, the show's echo sting from other scenes of very different contexts. So scraping the soles of the feet echoed one of Hank Schrader's checkup exams. It's to check the nervous system. So yeah, basically just looking to see, because the bottom of the feet, there's a lot of nerves there, kind of ticklish, just looking to see if they respond.
Yeah, totally. I like that. And I've kind of noticed that sometimes, but that's a good catch on that.
Once again, critical thinking always, which is an awesome YouTube channel thing. Once again, gives us shit for the pizza. We know. Walt threw the pizza. I get it. That doesn't change the fact that you can order a pizza in real life uncut. That doesn't change any of that. And then critical thinking also says this wasn't about control over Nacho. He's obviously talking about the
ending.
Yeah. This wasn't about control over Nacho. Gus did this so Bolsa would take the heat from Hiladio, and Gus could get his own supply of meth on the U.S. side of the border.
It was Bolsa's idea, right? He kind of incepted him.
Because he had to find a new supplier.
He incepted him. He didn't bring it up. He made Bolsa think it was his idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Good stuff. I like it.
Right. All right, cool. Well,
I want to add one. I want to add one.
Okay, sure.
And on Twitter, Oculus Orbis, who said every time your brain asks, why is this happening, consider it might be a Breaking Bad reference. Yeah. And sorry that you're pulling your hair out. Don't pull your hair out. It's all just good fun.
Yeah. And not only that, I'm going to flip the script, and I'm going to say every time you watch Breaking Bad, maybe you should consider that it's a Better Call Saul reference, because Better Call Saul takes place first. Bam. How do you like them apples? All right. With that, everybody, thank you so much for commenting, sending us suggestions, telling us why we're wrong, telling us why we're awesome, correcting us, all that good stuff. Make sure to check us out on TV Time, YouTube, all that good stuff. Get a hold of us. You know how. I shouldn't have to say every damn method. You might even be able to send us a smoke signal. I can interpret that. It would be nice.
Oh, and I forgot.
Like the other day, there was a house on fire in my neighborhood, so I saw the smoke signal, and I thought they were telling me to fuck off, so I didn't call the fire engine, but really what they were saying was, help, my house is on fire.
I gotta mention one that I forgot. Our newest iTunes review, a 4-star review from local Napervillianite, Krugs303, who says we have hands down the best podcast theme out there. So shout out to Alex, Tom, and Don. Tom wrote it. Alex sang it. Don played the drums. Excellent work, gentlemen. Excellent.
Awesome.
Work.
You know what? And while we're doing that, I'm gonna go crazy here. I'll do something really stupid and silly because I don't know why I just thought of this. But speaking of music, Dave and I have mentioned that we're playing a show on October 13th in Joliet, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that is correct, Dave.
That is.
Some of you
correct.
might have heard our dumb versions of songs on the Nothing Important podcast, where Dave and I will like sing some sort of song by a female artist, which obviously doesn't match our voices and stuff like that. But part of the fun of it is that's just stupid, right?
Yes.
But if we get, let's say, 10, maybe 10, let's go with 10. If we get 10 reviews on iTunes, Dave and I will release an original song for you guys on the next Preview with a Prior. And you guys can hear what kind of music Dave and I make when we make original music.
We're going to lose half our listeners.
Yes.
Well, first we have to get the 10 reviews.
It's called Self-Sabotage and I Hate Myself.
So everybody write 3 reviews. One of you write 4.
Mm-hmm. Math. And we'll see what happens. So do it. All right, let's talk about episode 404 now that we bullshitted enough. Okay, so episode 404. Let's start with
So let's start with Gus. Visiting Gail at college, where they tried to make a 40-year-old man look like he's 20. Totally threw us off. So he's got to find out who made the purest, I guess, of the meth, or find a different manufacturer. So that'll be. So maybe he'll find Jesse Pinkman. I don't know. It was Jesse Pinkman even cooking for Gus, but he's got to find something.
Now, maybe this will be like Jesse Pinkman's little buddies, like little drug buddies.
Yeah, maybe get like some Badger or some.
I really don't want them to do the whole Jesse Pinkman thing. I think that would be so incredibly lame.
Who was Badger's buddy? Skinny Pete?
Yeah.
You know, maybe they'll bring one of those
Skinny
guys
Pete
back.
would be cool, right? Like, let the lesser characters shine. I'd like to see Badger and Skinny Pete. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like our podcast.
Right, exactly. The whole Jesse Pinkman thing is, I know everybody wants it, but it honestly would feel kind of lame. I think it would be so lame.
It depends on how. It depends on how, because it fits. It totally fits, and I totally like.
Well, if it happens
setting
the way
it up.
that, right, if it happens the way that everybody wants it to happen, then in my eyes, it would pretty much be like, oh, great, we spent basically 5 years and 4 seasons to lead up to one cameo.
But
right?
It's more than a cameo at this point, I think, if they did it.
I guess. I don't know. I just think it would be lame. So, yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Moving on. Next topic.
Nacho has to heal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
He needs he needs a new rind on the nacho cheese.
Yeah. I hope they don't I would like to see them like actually portray him kind of incapacitated a bit.
A little bit.
Like I hope there isn't like a time jump and he has a few bandages and like one crutch and all of a sudden he's back to doing whatever the fuck it is Nacho does when he's not strong-arming people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'd like to see the trials and tribulations of being in his position where he's kind of owned by the opposition, but he still has to play it off the loyalties on his side with the Salamancas. But at the same time, he's kind of fucked up, right? Because that could lead to all sorts of cool scenarios where, you know, it could put him in grave danger because he has less of an ability to defend himself. Or it could put him in a situation where the antibiotics or whatever the vet gave him, you know, somebody could like hold those hostage over him or something. You know what I mean?
That would be a fair punishment that fit the crime.
Right? Wouldn't that be awesome?
And
so I hope that's where they go with that. I'd like to see some recovery Nacho, right? Because what about his dad?
Which reminds me, I've been waiting to get to this. Brant had tweeted us. It was not a correction on how to pronounce Leonel, which we now know is Leonel. I talked to a Spanish teacher friend of mine. How come Nacho's dad didn't keep that money and Nacho took it instead? Which I don't have an answer to. Thanks for the tweet, Brant. But I don't know. Why does his dad get the money back? And is that going to be and maybe an upcoming plot line? Is someone coming for the money that Nacho said nobody's coming for it? was his dad supposed to take a percentage and give it to the mom? Like, I'm not really sure what's up with the money. Because Hector gave it to his dad, and like in such a condescending, dickish fashion.
Mm-hmm.
So is that like the, hey, get the fuck out of here, take your money back?
Plus, I'd like to see from his dad. Obviously, Nacho's somebody's going to notice that he's all shot up,
right?
Right? Unless he just disappears for a month or so.
Yeah, how do you hide that? Like, oh, I got a new tattoo, as the area's a little sensitive,
right? And his dad already said, well, when does this end for you?
Yeah.
Right? So what if Nacho now pretty much has to rely on his dad for help, and his dad is now very close? Because before it was Nacho's doing all this bullshit with these really bad people.
Mm-hmm.
But now a shot up Nacho on the brink of death, the father is going to have to care for his son and see like the real life effects. Like, it's not just him running around with bad people. It's now I have to keep my son from dying because he was running around. You know, it's a lot more real and intense at that point.
Or he could cut him off at that point too and say, you know what? I tried. I cared. I can't do this anymore. I'm done.
Which is possible, but I think a cool angle, me personally, I'd like to see the cool angle of Nacho's dad now having to take care of him because of what he got himself into.
Right.
I think that'd be very interesting.
Okay.
Copy and paste. Where does Jimmy go from?
What? Oh, go ahead.
Where does Jimmy go from here?
I was going to say, copy and paste my last statement. I tried, I cared, I'm done. Add that to Kim. And we're going to have to see, you know, Kim's dealing with her emotions based on the letter. I'm not going to go ahead and say, like, the truth of the letter comes out. But they're definitely going to have some sort of conflict or issue. Since he chased her in the bedroom, she shut the door in his face.
All right.
Maybe that scene will pick up right where it left off, because I want that to happen one time this year. The next episode picks up a scene right where it left off.
Right. Yeah. It just naturally like, oh, okay, this is where we're going now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how it goes. I think the season has been pretty awesome and kind of intense so far. I mean, last year we kept talking about how the show probably finally found its legs.
Yeah.
And this year, I feel like it's finally running.
The drama is really palpable. Thick as pea soup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what do you think is going to happen? Let us know before the show starts. It airs Monday on AMC. Make sure to tweet us, email, smoke signal, like my neighbor, rest in peace. And also, any way you want to get a hold of us, we just like hearing from you guys. We like going back and forth with you guys. Send us fan mail, draw us a picture. Who knows? Put those likes on iTunes, and much to the chagrin of Dave, I'll release a song that we wrote. It'll be great. Good times. Thanks for hanging out with us. Check us out on TV Time. Big supporters of what we do. Thank you. Dave?
Well, I hope we see more of Mike next episode, because we only got that one little scene. So I'm hoping some more of the security stuff comes up and causes some more issues.
What if it's just like an entire Mike episode?
We had one of those. Remember we put the I Like Mike, Be Like Mike theme song in front of
Right? But wouldn't it be awesome if they like did just a full pretty much I want to see is a full episode of Mike being a really old Jack Ryan. That's all I want. Because that's essentially what he is.
Kind of.
That's essentially what he is. He's a really old like badass, right?
Yeah. Also, I'm sorry, I'm just cutting you off.
Unfadeable, please don't try to fade him.
Yeah, that is correct. Yes, please do not try and fade Mike Ehrmantraut. And Jimmy has to sell the figurine. He's got to get rid of it so he can pay off the burglar.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe he'll.
What if Irene puts a bid on it or something? Like he throws it up on eBay and Irene puts a bid on it. Huh?
Huh? I'd like to see Irene. She seemed like a very sweet old lady.
Yeah.
At least she got a mention this season.
Yeah. By us.
Yep. No, Jimmy mentioned her.
No.
Well, he alluded to her.
He just had that look on his face, and then we projected Irene onto it.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that's what he's thinking about. Subtle.
Totally.
Good writing. Subtle. All
right. Much like us. All right. See you Monday after the show.